the stuff I was seeing, it was so. I'm like, yo, this should not be shown on camera. Like one moment, I'm seeing them perform CPR on Christian
Yeah,
Eriksen, and then they cut away, and then they come back to him. I see the physios like opening his mouth or
yeah.
whatever. They cut away. They come back to him. They put the
Like
I
it
think
was
the
just so
defibrillator.
weird.
They
It
put
was
the
so,
defibrillator on him, and I see like his chest go up, and they cut away, and then his wife is
and
coming
just
down from
showing
the
his
stand,
wife
and
crying and stuff
I'm
like
just
that.
like,
Like, come on.
I had to walk away, man. I'm like, yo, I can't.
Because like it's hard. It's already hard for the fans that are in the stadium. It's already hard for people watching,
Yeah,
right? You don't want to like put like people's miseries on live television like that. Like,
for
imagine. I don't know if
sure.
I don't know if he has kids, but imagine if his kids seeing that
Yeah,
on
I think he
live
has one kid
television,
actually, one
right? And
newborn
his
kid.
wife that's already in the stadium. Like, imagine they go back home and just seeing clips of his face. Like, there was a point where he was laying down like on the ground, like right when he collapsed, and then the players were like around him and stuff, and the camera zoomed in to his face through the players' legs. I'm like, what? Like, why?
Literally, you're doing the
What image are you
most.
trying to get? You know what I mean? What image are you really trying to get? Right?
Hmm.
Like when something like that happens, you take the cameras away. You focus on the fans, the coaches, the teammates. Like take it away from the scene. You know what I mean?
Yeah, or
And you
you go
don't
back to the studio.
exactly, and you don't put it. You don't put your camera on the wife of the player when you see that she's obviously not in the right state of mind. You know what I mean? Something's like
Fam.
she doesn't know what's happening to her husband right
Yeah.
on the field, and she can't even go over there to see him and talk to him or like try to help out. So she's already in a difficult position, and then you're zooming into her, like her showing her emotions and stuff like that. Well, yo,
Yeah.
kudos to the Denmark captain and the players and the Finland players, also their coaches, the fans that were there, because it would happen right in front of the Finland fans, and they were able to throw their flags so that they could use that to
Yeah, yeah,
cover
to cover him.
and stuff like
Yeah,
that, which
because
was pretty good.
I really think about like the amount of like not every see your whole family can't go to the game, so a lot of his most of his family it's a fact they're all watching from home,
Home,
extended
yeah,
family, parents. I don't know if he has siblings, but everybody's watching. Of the friends and family are watching from home. And can you imagine being at home watching that? Like when it comes to a football game, you don't expect something like
like
this to
that to
happen,
happen.
right? And I remember my academy coach would always tell us this after every game. If we played a bad game, he would just be like, if we played a bad game, we talk about like stuff about the game. But after we're done, it'd be like, all right, man, is anybody dead? No. All right, so be happy, go live life. We'll work on the stuff at practice. And like as a kid, you kind of understand, but you don't really fully grasp what he's trying to say.
I
Like,
was trying to say,
why are you trying to say that? But as I got older, I really started grasping how significant and insignificant in the game is the game in some sorts, right? Like we kind of as players we kind of focus in and it becomes almost your life or whatever, but you realize how insignificant it is once you step off the field. You chilling with your friends, chilling with your family, and you're just enjoying stuff outside of soccer. Like you realize, man, yeah, this sport is not as great as it is and as great as it has given me like so many things. It's like, there's things that are more important
important,
than
yeah.
that. And that's what my academy coach was trying to drill onto us as kids. He's just like, yo, and he was always be like, yeah, but yo, is anybody dead? Nobody's dead. All right,
Exactly, because
let's move on.
like obviously like this is the most recent event, right? But stuff like
Yeah.
this happen once in a while. Like if you I don't know if you remember, if you know, but if you remember, right? Like I know this because this guy used to play for United, right? Did Daily Blind, right? So he kind of suffered the same thing, like I think 2019 ish or 2018, right? But he was able to like recover, and then like he got treatment. Like they figured out something in his heart. They were able to I think he has like a technology in his heart that like helps him, so it doesn't happen again. I think
Yeah.
even after the first year of like after the whole procedure and everything, I think the first year he came back in preseason, he relapsed, so it happened again. But then that was just for like a short period. You know what I mean? It wasn't as long as it was before, so they were able to like treat it again. And then like last season he played the full season. Nothing happened, and he also came out and said like because his game was the day after that happened, and he said
Yeah.
that he really like thinking about it. He didn't want to play,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because that brought back memories that you don't want to think about, you don't want to bring back, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
that could have been him, that could have been, that could have happened again to him, and so he didn't really want to play. And even if you see like when he got subbed off, like he was in tears and stuff, like he was crying because like it's like thank God I made it through this game. You know what I mean? That kind of
Yeah.
that kind of thing, right? It's just pretty hard.
Because you think about it, like we all go. Doesn't matter what. Like once you get to university, like you're going through physicals before the season starts. Before you get to, so we
Yeah,
get to preseason and the physios checking our heart rates, whatever, to make sure, because you don't want to have anybody that has a underlying medical condition be
yeah,
in preseason and get and suddenly we're doing physical activity because we're pushing ourselves to the limit, and then something like that happen. Now go to the professional levels, their physical goes so deep,
deep.
literally every season before a player gets to transfer. Like when before obviously Christian Eriksen got to Inter Milan, he has to go through the physical, he has to do the running and everything,
Yeah,
and
and it's the
that's
same
supposed to
thing. It's the
catch those
same thing when
things.
you and same thing when you go to the national team too, right?
Yeah.
The first week is all medical, physical, everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
But like some of
Yeah,
these things is unpredictable, bro. Like trust me, like
exactly.
I watch a lot of those like videos that all these national camps drop. Like you see the medicals and the physicals they do. Like
Mm-hmm.
if you pass that, you're like, bro, that's tough. Like how do you even pass this? Like like when I was
Literally.
younger, like I used to like when we see transfers, then they say transfers break down due to medical. I used to be like,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
how do you
You're like,
feel a
what?
medical? Like, bro,
Yeah.
you're not fit? What? Like, like,
Literally, I was like, yo,
you know what
what?
I mean? But certain teams have like certain standard, like you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I remember 2 seasons ago, Liverpool, they wanted to sign Naby Fekir, right?
Oh yeah.
He was like it
Mm-hmm.
was like a good player. He was in the France World Cup squad, I
Mm-hmm.
think, right? But then, like, they already did the interview. They already, like, those ones where they do the interview and then they take the
Yeah.
pictures right before they post it.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is that he failed, like, they weren't happy with the medical results. So the transfer didn't happen.
Wow.
So they already had all the photo shoots, all the video, all the, like, when you're about to launch a player, they already did everything.
Yeah.
But, like, the medical team looked at the results and they weren't happy with it because I think he had a surgery on his knee, like, I don't know how many years ago. So they're
Mm-hmm.
like, they
But
were iffy about it. You know what I mean?
yeah, but because you even just in terms of playing soccer, soccer is the one of the few sports, like obviously it requires a tremendous amount of fitness, and you, even
Yeah,
though you're a goalkeeper, I think you'll get this because obviously us outfield players or whatever, but like the first 20 some minutes of the game is hard as hell because it's like everybody's
yeah.
the speed is actually very quick because just starting the pressures very fast until the
Everyone wants to
game.
press. Everything was
Yeah,
like, because
everything
that's the first 20 minutes. Whoever wins the first
ex-
20 minutes usually wins, and
exactly.
control the game. You know what I mean?
Exactly. So you want, so the game doesn't really settle uh till you pass that 20 25 minute mark, and you all like, and you think about it, like you really, like every, you talk to any footballer, like the way you push your bodies in these games is insane, from even from training preseason to the game. It's like we all have games where like our chest is done, your heart's done, like you literally, like, like the amount of players that have come to you like in the middle of the game is, and it's like damn, like and soccer is one of those games where you have to find your own recovery time within
Time,
the
yeah,
game because you're not getting subbed in and out like basketball. So you have to be smart yourself as a player and find your recovery time within the game, especially after you did a crazy run. And we see it happening with France with Mbappe. Mbappe's fit, like really fit, but he finds his recovery time.
yeah.
I pay attention to that uh, during during the games, but it's the fact that this happened to Christian Eriksen, and we know Christian Eriksen is fit and ready to go. It just shows like it can happen. It
To
can happen
anybody,
to anybody. Like it was great to see that Christian Eriksen is good. Uh, he's awake and whatever. He's stable. Like it was just watching that on TV. I did not think, like, obviously knock on wood, it's all good now, but I did not think we were gonna get to to that point. Where I could see a picture of Christian Eriksen with his thumbs up in the hospital because is literally one of the worst things I've ever seen in my
Yeah, it
life.
was pretty scary because he was like the team doctor said like he was gone. Like they had
Yeah.
to like revive him and stuff like that. And for it being that long, like it was scary, man, for real.
Yeah, and now let's get into the because if they ended up playing again, and this is really comes down to like in terms of what really happened behind the scenes, kind of hard to say per se, but um, what's his name? Peter Schmeichel, the father of Kasper Schmeichel, who's the lesser keeper, and then the number one keeper for Denmark. He said that the players were in a sense forced to play that game. Like they had three options. It's like, so one of the options was like you either you play immediately and get like you play the last 50 minutes. The
Yeah,
next option is that you play on Sunday. So how far was that from?
that's 2 days. I think
Yeah,
it was
so
two
you
days.
play. Yeah, so you play on Sunday at noon.
No, no, no. It was the
No, I
next
think that's the
day.
next day. That's the next day. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So you play Sunday at noon, and the third option is that you forfeit the game. And he's like, yo, the player. He said, so this is a quote from Peter Schmeichel. He's like, I actually saw an official quote from the UEFA saying that they were following the advice of the players. The players insisted on playing. I know that not to be the truth. Obviously, he's not in the roster, but
Yeah, but
his
he's
son, his
deep in there.
son,
He's deep in there.
yeah, he's deep enough.
He's well associated with the
Yeah,
FA. You know what I
his,
mean?
his
Like,
son and his son like echo the same sentiment, and the UEFA they said that's not true at all.
okay, that's the thing though. Like, you have to realize when it comes to a big body like UEFA, everything they release is PR,
Yeah, exactly.
right? The way they word that statement, that with the advice of the players, obviously the players said they want to play that day because that was the option you gave them, so they chose the option. So basically,
Exactly.
they actually said, "Let's play today." So that's why they kind of worded in a way where the players made the choice. Yeah, they made the choice because you
Exactly.
gave them little options. You didn't say, "Okay, let's revise this game and let's play it in like 4 days," right? Because UEFA has to save face. They have obviously TV rights, TV money, all those kind of things plays a part. There's a lot of politics that goes into it. So that's why the options were limited, understandable. Right. Even the Sunday at noon, they probably were able to get like slots on stations or whatever to fill in for that game, right? But it was just easier for them to play the game the same day, right? So they would have probably pushed more to play like right away, like continue the game. But
Like,
it's hard though, like you know what I mean, with like not only on the Denmark team, but the Finland players, the fans that were there, like just the emotion, like who would want to watch that game and cheer, like
well,
or like celebrate?
you saw with the goal they scored, like Finland they scored, they didn't really celebrate. Like it
Yeah,
was like, and you can tell also the way the Denmark players were playing, their legs were not under them at all. Like it's one of those where you're not, and it's crazy because football is one of those games that when you play, like you said, you only think about the game or whatever. But when something like
yeah,
this happens,
happen is different.
it's not something that you could just put out of mind, right? And it played a big role in the game. And UEFA trying to make us think that they're like, yo, we tried, we give them, fam.
Like
Nobody's gonna
if you
believe
think
that.
about it, even from both set of teams, right? This is Finland's first time in the Euros, right? Their first ever goal in the Euros. They couldn't even celebrate it. They couldn't enjoy it. Like
Yeah.
that's Finland's first ever goal at a major tournament. They couldn't really enjoy it, right? Going into that game, Denmark was the favorite, anyways. You know what I mean? Even in the group, they're one of the favorite. But now they're like
You lose that first game in the group stage. You're playing catch up. You have
catch
two more
up.
games. You really want to win both games. Best case
Exactly.
scenario, minimum you want to tie one and
Win one.
win the other. So they're already Denmark's already on the back foot, and
And then
I think the coach.
you've lost one of your key players. Like it's crazy.
Yeah,
Like